Good morning, students. Today we'll be solving the numerical problems on time and motion. The numericals will be on the concept we have learned in the previous PPTs. It will be on simple pendulum and on the calculation of speed. The first sum is a simple pendulum takes 32 seconds to complete 20 oscillations. What is the time period of the pendulum? This is a sum from NCERT exercise. We'll be using unitary method. 20 oscillations take 32 seconds. So one oscillation will take, we have to divide because one oscillation will take lesser time. So 32 by 20, that is 1.6 seconds. Now why we are calculating the time taken by one oscillation? Because the time to complete one oscillation is known as the time period, and in the question time period is asked for. We are going to the second question where the initial reading of odometer is given 58,519.8 and the final reading is 59,119.8 after time interval of 10 hours. Then what will be the average speed? Now we have to relate to the previous PPT that what is odometer? Odometer is the instrument which gives us the distance travelled by a moving vehicle. So these two readings, initial and final reading, is related to distance travelled, and that is in kilometer. Now initial reading and final readings are given. So by subtracting the initial reading from final reading, we can get the distance travelled. That is 600 km. Now we know that speed is equal to distance by time. So 600 km divided by 10 hours, that will give us 60 km per hour. Question number 3. The distance between two students is 240 km. A train takes 4 hours to cover this distance. Calculate the speed of the train. This is also a sum from NCERT book. Remember, when we are solving numerical problem, we have to write down the given data, and if any change of conversion of unit is needed, we'll be doing in that step. Then we'll be writing the required equation and substitute the values in that equation to solve the sum. Here distance travelled is equal to 240 km and time is 4 hours. So no conversion is needed. We are directly moving to the formula for speed, that is equal to distance travelled by time. So substituting the value, we are getting 240 by 4, that is 60 km per hour. In the next sum, a girl runs a distance of 160 meter in 20 seconds. What is the speed of the girl? Here also we are writing down the given data. Distance travelled is equal to 160 meter and time taken is 20 seconds. So speed is equal to distance travelled by time, that is 160 by 20, that is equal to 8 meter per second. Here also no conversion of unit was needed. Our next sum is also from NCERT. The odometer of a car reads 57,321 km when the clock shows time 8:30 am. What is the distance moved by the car if at 8:50 am the odometer reading has changed to 57,336 km? We have to also calculate the speed of the car in kilometer per minute during this time, and we have to express the final answer, that is the speed in kilometer per hour also. So initial reading of odometer is equal to 57,321 and final reading is 57,336. So distance travelled will be 57,336 minus 57,321, that is 15 kilometer. And the time duration is 8:50 minus 8:30 am, that is 20 minutes. Initially, we have to find out the speed in kilometer per minute, so no conversion of unit is needed. Speed is equal to distance travelled by time. So 15 kilometer divided by 20 minutes, that is 0.75 kilometer per minute or 3/4 kilometer per minute. Now we have to convert it into kilometer per hour. Now 1 minute we are converting it into hour. 1 minute is equal to 1/60 hour. Why? Because 60 minutes make 1 hour. So instead of writing 0.75, we are writing 7/100 kilometer, and instead of 1 minute we are writing 1/60 hour. By taking the reciprocal and by reducing it, we are getting 45 kilometer per hour. Next sum. A bus moves at a constant speed of 45 kilometer per hour for 10 minutes. What is the distance covered by the bus? So far, whatever sums we had done, we were calculating speed by the formula distance travelled by time. Here also we will be using the same formula, but we will do cross multiplication and we will find out the distance travelled. Here the given data are speed is equal to 45 km per hour and time is equal to 10 minutes. Now we have put the time here into hour. 10 minutes will be 10/60 hour, that is 1/6 hour. So distance travelled will be speed into time. So 45 into 1/6, that is 15/2 or 7.5 kilometer is the distance travelled. Salma takes 15 minutes from her house to reach her school on a bicycle. If the bicycle has a speed of 2 meters per second, calculate the distance between her house and the school. This is also a sum from NCERT. Here also we are finding distance travelled. This sum and the previous sum are almost same, but here some conversion of unit is needed. Time is equal to 15 minutes, it is given. We have to convert it into second because the answer, the speed is given in meter per second. So 15 into 60 will give us 900 second and speed is 2 meters per second. Now distance travelled is equal to speed into time. So we are substituting the values. 2 into 900, that gives us 1800 meter. We can convert it to kilometer by dividing by 1000 because 1000 meter makes 1 kilometer. So 1800 by 1000 kilometer is equal to 1.8 kilometer. Next sum. In how much time will a train moving at 90 km per hour cover a distance of 15 km? So speed is equal to 90 km per hour and distance is equal to 15 km. So speed is equal to distance by time, time is equal to distance by speed. That is equal to 15 by 90, that is 1/6 hour. That is 1/6 into 60 minutes, that is 10 minutes is the answer. Next question is from NCERT. Show the distance time graph for the motion in the following cases. Here the nature of motion is given and you have to draw the graph. A car moving with constant speed. It is shown beside the question. When a car is moving with constant speed, it travels equal distances in equal interval of time. That is the definition of constant speed or uniform motion. So the graph will be represented by a straight line which is passing through origin. Next one is a car parked on a side road. That means the car is standing at one place. So there is no change in the distance of the car from the reference point on road. But the time changes. So when the time is increasing but there is no change in distance, so the graph will be a straight line which is parallel to the time axis, which is shown in the second figure. Now we'll be moving to a sum that is also from NCERT, but in this sum the graph is provided in the question and you have to interpret the graph to know which vehicle has higher speed. Here in the graph, two lines are drawn. Both are straight lines. One is A and one is B. A represents the movement of car A and B represents the movement of car B. Both are straight line means both are showing uniform motion. Both the vehicles are moving with uniform motion. But one is moving with higher speed and one is moving with lower speed. How to know that? What you will be doing, you will choose a point on the time axis and will drop a perpendicular as it is shown in the second figure. The perpendicular will intersect the two graphs A and B at two different points. From the intersecting points, you will draw dotted line and will draw perpendicular on the distance axis. On y axis, we are dropping perpendicular with dotted line. That means within a given time, which car has travelled more distance, we have to identify that. It can be easily seen that within a given time, car B has travelled lesser distance than car A. So, the car A is moving faster than car B. A car moves with a speed of 40 km per hour for 15 minutes and then with a speed of 60 km per hour for the next 15 minutes. The total distance covered by the car is, there are four options given: 100 km, 25 km, 15 km and 10 km. This is also a sum from NCERT. So separately for two different time intervals and with two different speed, we have to find out the distance travelled. And then we will be adding the distance travelled to find out the total distance. So the speed in the first case was 40 km per hour and the time was 15 minutes. Here some conversion is needed. We have already learned it, the type of conversion in the previous sums. So 15 minutes will be divided by 60 to convert it into hour. 50 by 60 will give us 1 by 4 hour after reducing. So speed is equal to distance by time. Distance is equal to speed into time. That is equal to 40 into 1/4, that is 10 km. Similarly, speed is equal to 60 km per hour and time is 15 minutes, which is equal to 1/4, and distance travelled will be 16 to 1/4, that is 15 km. So total distance travelled will be 10 plus 15, that is 25 km. Which of the following distance time graphs shows a truck moving with a speed which is not constant? Here four graphs are given. In the first graph, it's a straight line. So it is showing the motion of a body with constant speed, but when the observation was started, the body has already travelled some distance. In the second figure, we can see that the straight line is parallel to time axis. So the time elapses, but the distance of the object is not changing. That means the body is not moving, it is at rest. In the third figure, third graph, the time is changing but the distance is not changing at uniform rate. So it is travelling unequal distances in equal interval of time. So it is a case of non-uniform motion. And the fourth one, it's a straight line passing through origin. That means it is a case of uniform motion. When the observation starts, the body also starts moving. So the correct answer is option 3. It is showing the body which is not moving with constant speed. Now let us do some sums on our own. These sums are very much similar to the sums which are done in the slides, the previous slides. So you start doing in your classwork notebook. If you face any difficulty, we'll discuss in our Teams class. The learning outcome: the students will be able to solve numerical problem related to calculation of time period of a simple pendulum. They will be able to solve numerical problems related to calculation of speed, time and distance. They will be able to interpret the distance time graph to identify the nature of motion, and they will be able to estimate the speed of an object from a distance time graph. Thank you, students. I hope all of you understood all the concepts well.